It started with whispers. Then came a single leak that spread through Hollywood like wildfire. By morning, every tabloid headline was screaming the same shocking words. Tyler Perry just turned on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. But this wasn't your typical Hollywood feud or royal gossip. What Tyler revealed, or rather, what he allowed the world to discover, hit harder than any royal scandal in decades. Because behind closed doors, inside the walls of a Beverly Hills mansion once called a refuge, something darker had been brewing. And now, the man who once protected the Duke and Duchess of Sussex is pulling the curtain back on secrets Harry desperately tried to hide. For years, Tyler Perry had been one of the few people who stood by Harry and Meghan. When the royal family turned cold and the British press turned brutal, Perry opened his home and gave them safety. He became the Hollywood lifeline they needed, the man who offered comfort, privacy, and the promise of a fresh start. But what started as sanctuary ended in betrayal. Reports surfaced that Perry wasn't just stepping away from the couple, he was done with them completely. And the reason? Leaked audio recordings allegedly capturing Meghan and Harry behind the scenes, unfiltered, unguarded, and brutally honest about the royal family. As one insider put it, if the world ever hears what's on those tapes, it'll destroy everything they built. And now, those whispers have become headlines. It all began in 2020. Harry and Meghan had just stepped down from royal duties, their relationship with Buckingham Palace fractured beyond repair. Desperate for privacy, they accepted Tyler Perry's offer, his $18 million Beverly Hills mansion. It was meant to be a fresh start. Tyler treated them like family. He offered security, connections, and even became godfather to their daughter, Lilibet. To outsiders, it looked like a fairy-tale friendship, Hollywood royalty meeting British royalty. But behind that glossy image, tension was simmering. Insiders later revealed that Harry and Meghan began leaning too heavily on Perry's network, pushing for introductions, meetings, and deals to keep their fame alive. When their public controversies began to spiral, Netflix deals questioned, Spotify partnerships falling apart, Perry started to feel the weight of their chaos. His reputation was being pulled into their storm. And as the couple turned his kindness into strategy, Perry began to quietly distance himself. The problem? Meghan noticed, and she didn't like it. Here, where things take a jaw-dropping turn. According to multiple Hollywood sources, Perry's home security system, like many elite estates, records both video and audio for safety reasons. Normally, that data is deleted within days. But something went wrong. The recordings from the months Harry and Meghan lived there were never erased. Those recordings, insiders claim, captured hours of raw conversations between the couple, sometimes angry, sometimes emotional, sometimes shockingly cynical. Meghan allegedly mocked royal traditions, calling them outdated performances. Harry vented about his brother, Prince William, and stepmother, Queen Camilla, in language that would horrify the palace. And all of it was before the Oprah interview, the one that changed everything. One person who reportedly heard parts of the recordings described them as explosive. They painted a very different picture of the couple who had spent years framing themselves as victims of royal cruelty. It wasn't illegal, but it was damning. For a long time, Perry stayed silent. He didn't leak, didn't speak, didn't defend or condemn. But then Harry made a mistake, one that changed everything. During a press event earlier this year, Harry casually implied that Tyler had distanced himself for political reasons. To the public, it sounded harmless, but to Perry, it was deeply insulting. He'd spent months sheltering them, protecting them, defending them, and now Harry was painting him as disloyal. That comment cut deep. Perry's empire is built on loyalty, it's his brand, his code, his entire identity. And in that moment, Harry broke it. According to one insider, Perry's reaction was calm but cold. He said nothing, but he never forgot. And that's when the whispers began, whispers about the existence of recordings. Perry didn't release them directly. He didn't have to. All it took was one quiet conversation with the right person, and the world began to buzz. Within days, hashtags like Tyler Tapes and Harry Exposed flooded Twitter and TikTok. Journalists, gossip sites, and royal commentators went into overdrive. Suddenly, everyone in Hollywood wanted to know what Tyler had. Even Netflix executives, who'd poured millions into Harry and Meghan's projects, started making panicked calls. PR firms were told to pause collaborations, sponsors quietly withdrew, and invitations to elite events started drying up. Tyler Perry, once their guardian angel, had become the man everyone was terrified of crossing. He stayed silent publicly, but privately insiders said he'd been hurt and done. One friend summed it up: "You can forgive betrayal, you can't forget manipulation." And for Meghan, that silence spoke louder than any statement. In their Montecito mansion, chaos hit. Meghan was reportedly furious when she saw the headlines. Witnesses say she was packing, shouting about betrayal, demanding lawyers. She called Tyler again and again, no answer. Harry tried to calm her, insisting Perry was bluffing, but even he looked shaken. For a woman who prided herself on controlling the narrative, losing control was unbearable. The walls that once echoed with brand meetings now echoed with panic. Meanwhile, Perry didn't say a word. Instead, he posted a cryptic message on Instagram. "People reveal who they are when the cameras stop rolling." 7 words, that's all it took. The internet exploded, and Meghan's world started collapsing in real time. Perry's post was like a match in gasoline. Fans flooded his page with comments: "Is this about Meghan? Are the tapes real?" Meghan's team scrambled into action. They launched Project Redemption, a full-blown PR campaign to repair her image. Anonymous sources suddenly appeared in glossy magazines, claiming Meghan was devastated by the betrayal and hurt by those who used her kindness. But the public wasn't buying it, not this time. Because new clips started to surface, short snippets that allegedly showed Meghan coaching Harry before interviews. Not illegal, not malicious, but calculated. To many, it confirmed what critics had long suspected, that their image of compassion and victimhood was just another performance. The leaked audio spread like wildfire online. YouTubers analyzed every second. TikTok creators mocked the lines. Late-night hosts cracked jokes. What was once a royal fairy tale had turned into a cautionary tale. Fans who once defended Meghan now questioned her motives. "If this is what they said in private," one viral tweet read, "what else were they hiding?" Harry, meanwhile, vanished from public view. Friends said he was reclusive, emotionally drained, and spending time away from Meghan to find clarity. And the empire they'd built, their image, their brand, their power, began to crumble piece by piece. For the first time, they weren't steering the narrative. The narrative was steering them. Once adored by Hollywood's elite, the Sussexes suddenly found doors closing. Brand deals went quiet. Invitations to award shows and charity galas vanished. Even Netflix, their biggest backer, reportedly paused promotional campaigns. Behind closed doors, executives called the couple too risky. One PR insider told the Daily Beast, "This isn't bad press. This is career suicide." Meghan tried to claw her way back, pitching exclusive interviews to Oprah, Gayle King, anyone. But even Oprah's team declined, saying, "We've already told your truth once." The message was clear. The sympathy well had run dry. Then came the real bombshell. Perry handed a trusted journalist a written statement, not a tell-all, not a scandal dump, but a truth piece. In it, he said, "What I witnessed wasn't healing. It was performance." That single sentence shattered what was left of the Sussex myth. Suddenly, Hollywood insiders who once called Meghan a visionary began using another word: calculated. Brands backed away. A-list friends stayed silent. Meghan's upcoming lifestyle brand quietly delayed its launch. And through it all, Perry stayed calm, dignified, and deliberate. He didn't drag them, he exposed them. With truth, not revenge. Because, as one of his close friends said, Tyler didn't want to destroy them. He just wanted people to finally see. By now, the cracks in their marriage were showing. Harry reportedly accused Meghan of turning every crisis into a PR stunt. Meghan accused Harry of not standing by her. Their argument was said to be the loudest they'd ever had. Harry stormed out and disappeared for 2 days. When he finally returned, photographers captured him at a charity event, eyes hollow, shoulders heavy, the spark gone. The once glamorous prince looked broken, and for the first time, even royal watchers felt sympathy, not for Meghan, but for him. As one columnist put it, he escaped the palace but not the drama. Back in London, the royal family stayed silent mostly. But then, King Charles's spokesperson made a brief, cutting statement. Integrity and discretion remain paramount in the service of the crown. It didn't name anyone. It didn't have to. Even William, once estranged, reportedly reached out privately to Harry. And while the brothers may never be close again, this crisis gave them something in common: exhaustion. No hashtags, no follow-up, just silence. For Harry and Meghan, that silence was louder than any roar. Their empire, the one built on image, interviews, and influence, had finally fallen apart. Tyler Perry once gave them shelter. This time, he gave them truth. And that truth was something no PR campaign could rewrite. Because in the end, Perry didn't just leak audio. He leaked reality. And once reality is out there, it can't be edited, rebranded, or erased.